So I recently picked up this Surefire. It's an E2L Outdoorsman, and made by Surefire. And just from the get-go, it's has a solid feel in hand, and part of that is because it's an aluminum flashlight. It's milled out of an aluminum body, so it has a really strong construction. But also, it has a really good feel in hand because the knurling on these Surefire lights has the checkering, and also has a really fine micro pattern on it. It's like the texture is extra rough, which differentiates it from a light such as like a Phoenix light, which has knurling as well, but the knurling is somewhat smooth. So you get a lot more grip with one of these Surefire lights. However, I've been using this as a as a camp light, and it's perfect. Fits in your pocket, fits both ways. Super strong construction, very distinct. Not a lot of people have these things, so I'm not getting it mixed up for like all the mag lights that some other people might have. And gosh, it weighs a hell of a lot less than a mag light. Another thing that's sort of new to these Surefire lights is this is not actually a reflector. This is a lens called a total internal reflection lens. And what that means is that rather than reflecting the light from inside out, it kind of collects all the light and then projects it in one direction. What that means practically, probably not a big deal, but it was a big deal to Surefire, so they spent a lot of money to develop it. And it does project a really nice concentrated beam like so. This does have a, this is a dual output light. It's 1 for low, 2 for high. I clicked it both times, but you can also, it's also got momentary on, like that.
This picture was taken at the low output mode of 5 lumens. This picture was taken with a Microsoft Surface tablet camera, which isn't a particularly good camera, so you're not going to get a really accurate representation of what you would actually see. But these pictures were taken to show you the beam pattern, as well as the way the colors, or the light affects the colors in the color test chart on my wall. This picture was taken at the high output mode of 125 lumens. Again, this was taken with not a particularly good camera, so this is not actually what you're seeing. It's just what the tiny little camera is interpreting. But really, what you're going to see here is a nice tight focus beam and a fairly good spill radius too.
Also, the bezel is really lightly crenulated on this. Is an E2L. It's not quite as aggressive as an E2D, but it gives you a decent offset, and it gives you a decent standoff, and it still makes for a good striking tool. Again, not as aggressive as a E2D, but it'll do. The E2L also has one of these Surefire double clips, and what that does is it lets you store your flashlight bezel down like this, or you can actually store it bezel up like this. Just gives you a wider range of options as far as storing it goes. A side benefit of having this kind of clip is that if you're going to use the Rogers technique of handgun weapon light fighting, then it gives you like the perfect purchase for your index finger to use in conjunction with your handgun. So it's a side benefit of having this kind of a clip that I found. It does leave a little indent in your finger, but I think if you're in a situation where you need to use a handgun light, then that's fine. I was talking earlier about using it as a handgun light. The problem with that is the low mode comes first. So when you're talking about like a defensive situation, then you might have to double tap it to get the defensive mode, which is the high output mode. And if you're strobing a room like so, then you're getting a little bit of light, and then a lot of light, and a little bit of light, and then a lot of light. And the first blast, is going to be the low mode, which isn't very disorienting at all. This is, again, it's called the Outdoorsman. It's made to be an outdoorsy type of light, and that's why I got it. But if you're thinking about getting like a multi-purpose light, then this is a good multi-purpose light. It's just not really good for defensive carry or something like that. And that's pretty much the overview of the E2L Outdoorsman. It's light. I love it. It's been good to me, and I would highly recommend it.